Hi everyone. In this video, we are going to discuss about another coding question, extracting integers from a string. Let's understand the problem statement. Consider a given string containing white spaces and A to Z in lowercase and also 0 to 9 digits. And we need to write a code that extracts integers from this string. So we can assume that any sequence of consecutive digits as a valid integer. For example, so we can see a string here, A, B, white space, C, C, white space, and then 4 here. So this is an integer. Then some D, white space, and you can see a sequence of consecutive digits here, 1, 8, 9, 7. This whole uh, string is one integer, one valid integer, 1897, and then space 5. So 5 is another separate integer. Then white space 22. 22 is another integer. Then comes non-digit character k 3. So 3 is an integer. K, again we will ignore k, so we need to extract 1. 1 is another integer, and so on, right? So we need to extract only integers from this whole string. That is what the problem is about. So you can just pause the video here and think of a solution for a minute or two, and then you can resume and watch the solution. So this is the approach. We'll read the string character by character and concatenate the sequences of consecutive digits. So, and how do we find if a character is a digit is? So each character has its own ASCII code, right? So digits ASCII code range is between 48 and 57, both inclusive. So we'll use that as a condition to verify if a given if a character is a digit or not. And then we'll actually, when a sequence of consecutive digits is interrupted in this process, if it is interrupted by any non-digit character, right? So we can then convert the harvested sequence till now whatever we constructed the sequence into an integer and append it as a list of integers. So we'll have some resultant list. So we'll add that to the list, resultant list. So this is the approach we'll follow now. So let's see this in terms of code now. You can see here I have method extract which takes string as a parameter and returns list of integers. So we need to finally return the list of integers. So that is what the solution, right? That is what we wanted to solve. So for that, let's actually have a list of integers object first, where we will store the resultant integers here. So this is a list of integers. I will just name it as my result, and then I will just declare it as array list. Now we wanted to store the integers, right? So sequence of digits as an integer. So we wanted some placeholder. So we'll have some temporary object. So for that temporary object, I'm actually using string builder. So we'll use string builder object for storing the integers from the string, and then we'll start reading the string character by character for all till all the characters is completed in the string, right? Now what we wanted to check, how to find if the current character is a digit or not, right? So first let's capture the current character. So how do we find it is, I'll use the caret method and we'll pass the index to it. So we have the current character now, and now we wanted to verify the condition if this character is a digit or not. So we wanted to check that condition, right? So how to check is, if my character ASCII code is greater than 48 and it has to be less than 57, both inclusive. So it actually covers 0 to 9 digits of ASCII code. And as ch is char here, so we need to actually typecast it to integer. So see, ch is a char data type, right? So I am just typecasting here, typecasting it to integer, both at both places, right? Now we know if it is an integer or not, right? So here we have some issue. Okay, the braces, okay, we need to close the brace here. till if it is greater than 0. Okay, let's see what the issue is. Okay, it is expected. All right, so one of the braces was missing there, right? So we typecasted character to integer now, and now what we'll do is, so if it is an integer, so we confirm this condition is to verify if the character is an integer, right? Or it is a digit, right? So we confirm that it is a digit now. What we wanted to do, we'll just store this digit into some temporary object which we declared as string builder object, right? So what if it is not a digit, right? So we can just ignore it, as we are only interested in the capturing integers, right? But we are capturing into some temporary object, right? And we wanted it as a list of integers, so list of different integers, right? So what we need to do here is, we need to, if it is interrupted by any non-digit character, so we wanted to add whatever has been captured into temp object, we wanted to add it to the list, resultant list. So let's do that. Add, we have the integers in temp, right? So let's convert that into string, and we also need to convert this into integer. So we know temp has temp stores integers, right? So let's convert this into integer. So for that, I'll use integer dot parseInt. Integer dot parseInt. So we added whatever has been stored in the temporary object to the resultant list. Now we need to clear the temporary object, string builder object. So for that, I'll use the method delete of string builder and delete the whole content of the temporary object, right? And if you observe, we need to do this only when we have the temporary this temporary object filled. So if, let's write that condition. So if we have the length greater than 0, only then we need to actually add it to the list, right? So I am adding that condition here. Finally, we are interested to actually return this result, right? List of integers. So let's return that result. I'm creating a main method here, and we'll call this extract method here, and we'll pass it the string whichever we saw it in the example. As it is returning list of integers, so let me capture that into list of integers, and then we'll have it as integer list some object, and let's display that on the console. And now let me execute this program, and we can clearly see here. So we gave the string here. From the string we got only the integers extracted from it. So 4 is one integer, 1897 complete sequence of digits is one integer, 5, 22, 3, 1, 88, and 6. So you can clearly see the output here. So this is how we can actually extract the integers from a given string. So if you think like how to remember the ASCII code for the digits, lowercase, higher case, if it is like difficult to remember these ASCII codes and all, what we can do is we can just replace this condition with we can use isDigit method of character wrapper class. So we have a class called character, which is a wrapper class for char data type. So we can use that class, and we have a method called isDigit within that class. So isDigit of character. So what this method does is, if the passed argument, the character is a digit, then it returns true, or else it returns false. So we can actually use this method, isDigit method, if we feel that remembering these ASCII codes is difficult, right? So let's execute this program again, and you can see the same output here. So either you can use the ASCII code condition, or if you don't remember the ASCII codes, then you can just use the isDigit method of character class to achieve the solution. So this is how we can actually extract the integers from a given string. That's all for this video. Thanks for watching.